Yo, New Mexico. This is episode 8 of Ring Awareness. I am your host once again. You know my name, Adam Merrick, and we've got a packed show for you today. Of course, we're coming off an epic WrestleMania 30. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But first off, my guest this week is none other than 1/3 of the DeathRage Cartel. You may know him as Carnage, the Crash Unit. We've got him right here. It's Johnny K.
How's it going, guys? How's it going, Mr. Merrick?
Hey, buddy.
Thank you for having me on today.
Of course, one of my very good friends here in the wrestling business. It's great to have you. We've got a lot to talk about. Obviously, you've been wrestling now since about 2006.
Yeah, that's right, 2006.
Too many chair shots.
Yeah, I've been hitting the head too many
remember.
times. I can't remember. The years just, they all run together.
Well, let's talk. Obviously, let's start at the beginning. Johnny K begins. What made you want to... how long have you been a wrestling fan? Did you grow up watching wrestling?
For the most part, I grew up watching wrestling. I didn't really get into it until I was in like middle school, high school age.
Okay.
So, watching the Attitude Era, or I guess the tail end of the Attitude Era.
Uh-huh.
The Rock, Stone Cold, DX.
Yeah.
They were all probably my favorite. Undertaker, Kane. I know I always went to the house shows. Me, my dad, and my brother always went to the house shows at the Pit.
Oh, yeah.
So, watching Stone Cold at the end of the show with the ring just covered in beer cans.
Really? At the Pit?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I must have missed. Yeah, I love the Pit always, whenever they come, is always my favorite venue because it's so freaking loud in there. I remember probably now like 10 years ago, we went to one. I don't know if it was the one we went to, but John Cena was there and he was in a main event. And I've never heard the Pit that loud. And I've been at, well, again, maybe that one that you went with where Austin was there. But just other guys. I'd seen Austin wrestle in the Pit before. I've seen other big names, Undertaker there. I'd never heard the Pit as loud as it was for John Cena, believe it or not. And it's just such a loud building. I love it there.
I remember when we went and Cena was there and we were in the front row and all these kids come running down to the barricade, just standing there. We're sitting in our seats and we're like, me, I'm the dick. Hey, we paid for these seats. Get out of our way.
Dude, that was so funny. That's probably one of my favorite memories going to a show is having John yell at the kids. Like, John, they're coming up again. Hey.
Yeah, I'm always pretty much of a big dick to kids, especially when they think they own the place.
There you go. You learned something new about Johnny K. Well, let's go back, obviously. So you started watching, again, it seems like a lot of people have had so far on the show kind of start watching at the same time. I was the same way. I was a very late bloomer as far as a fan. I didn't grow up, with the whole Hulk Hogan, eating your vitamins, saying your prayers stuff, but grew up towards 97, 98 when Sting was huge. Sting was my favorite. So kind of know what era you're talking about. I'd say it was roughly about the middle of the Attitude Era. But when was it that you decided to pursue this? Was this something that you wanted to do when you were a fan? Did you want to eventually ever become a wrestler?
Every wrestler that I know have always been a fan. They're like, oh, yeah, let's do it.
Right.
But I didn't, out of high school, I didn't really know how to get into it. And I was like, it's just a crazy dream, so let's do something else. And then the opportunity came to get trained by Rugged Rick Daniels with my good friends Josh Payne and Dexter Durain. So we took that up. And, it's been a roller coaster ever since.
There you go. Of course, Johnny K, one of the founding fathers of Destiny Wrestling as well. We all kind of came together. We all decided to bring wrestling to New Mexico. As far as that, what was that experience, being able to do that, doing something that so many others have tried, and again, just like we have, unfortunately, we're not succeeding right now doing it. But, just being able to run here in Albuquerque, which is a rare thing for certain groups to do. I think there's only been a few before us. But what's been that experience as far as being able to help found this company?
It was a good experience. Hurt my pocketbook a lot.
Yeah.
We didn't really make a whole lot of money while we were doing it.
Right.
But, it was a good time. The friends that we made while we were doing it they're basically lifelong friends, especially, you, myself, Josh, and Dexter.
Right.
We're friends, forever.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, if my wife and my kids sometimes had a hard time with it, but that's because, like, I was married before I even started wrestling, which is, I don't know, a lot of people don't do that. They get married later on. So,
yeah.
I mean, overall, it was a pretty decent experience. I mean, I wish we could run more.
Of course.
I mean, show day is always crazy and stressful. Like, always until the last minute before we open doors, we're running around trying to make sure everything's set up, ready to go, audio's ready to roll. All that craziness is stressful. And luckily, you have a lot of greenhorns running around that are doing stuff when you're telling them to, or trying to tell them to.
Right. Especially, a lot of people may not notice, but, with Johnny being one of the founding guys of the company, along with performing and being Johnny K, he's also the guy who loads our ring. He's the guy who transports our ring to every show. He's the one who pretty much sets it up, along with help, of course. He does our audio, everything like that. So this guy has a lot to do on show days. He sets everything up for us, and he has that little extra part in making the show what it is. So I know I speak for everybody, obviously. We thank you for doing everything that you do, because I've seen you do it, and it's a lot. So give this guy props, everybody, because he definitely deserves it. I've seen you wrestle pretty much your entire career for the most part. I've caught everything as far as New Mexico. And do you have a favorite moment, a favorite match that you've had, Destiny Wrestling specific right now?
My favorite match probably so far in Destiny Wrestling was at one of the Day of Destinies. I don't remember which one because obviously I've been hitting the head too many times.
Chair shots.
It was the lumberyard match with myself and my fellow cartel members against the Grindhouse.
Oh yeah.
That was a fair one of my favorite matches. Another match I like to do is the ladder match. I think I hold the record for most appearances in a ladder match in Destiny Wrestling.
You're right. You are correct. My favorite. I have a few favorite Johnny K moments myself. Obviously, mine was, I think was it the first Bound by Violence? Was it Bound by Violence?
Yeah, that was Bound by Violence.
When it was a triple threat match between you, Dexter, and Josh, and it was elimination. And some people may not notice, but how early was it into the match when Dexter suffered a concussion, and what caused?
Oh, that was like that was the first 2 minutes into the match.
What happened?
What happened? He was I forget how he took a bump in the ring, and then I decided to climb onto the top rope and give him a leg drop. Well, I kind of missed and landed on his head with my ass. So yeah, it was just funny. He's a concussion, just walking around setting up spots after spot after spot. But it was a good time. A favorite part of my for that match was me jumping off of that truck.
There you go.
That was parked in the armory onto Josh, who was inside of a trash can. I continued to break his teeth after that. Yeah.
Johnny was on a mission to just destroy. He gave Dex a concussion. He broke Josh's tooth, or was it teeth? Teeth. And that's probably one of when I think of Destiny Wrestling, that's gonna be one of the moments that I remember is you jumping off of that truck. That just happened to be an armory. We couldn't move it.
Yeah, we couldn't move it. There's no keys. So we're like, oh, we'll use it.
Yeah.
I'll use it. I'll jump off of that onto a Josh inside of a trash can on top of a table, which did not break.
Yeah.
With an elbow drop. It's good times.
That image is going to be forever etched in my mind as probably when everything's said and done about Destiny Wrestling. That's going to be my image of Destiny Wrestling is Johnny K jumping off the truck, top of the truck. And was it that match? So I was thinking about you getting powerbombed through the bed of the truck that was filled in barbed wire. That was the same match, right?
Yeah, that was the same match. There was also a pane of glass.
That's right.
On top of that bed that also did not break.
If you guys have not seen this pandemonium, you need to check it out. I'm pretty sure we have a video. I think it's just a real quick highlight video.
Yeah, I think the highlight video is on the DWO Wrestling YouTube page.
Right, you should definitely check it out. It was crazy. One of the craziest experiences I'd had as far as watching that live. I think that was my very first seeing that type of wrestling in front of my face, which was ridiculous. And of course, there's been crazy stuff done ever since that time.
Oh,
that
that
beginning.
set the bar, and ever since then, that bar has been blown out of the water. Yeah, with our other deathmatch tournaments that we've had with Josh and the panes of glass.
Oh my god.
The bottle cap match with the Legos, that was just horrible.
Yeah.
The VHS tapes with Dexter.
Yeah.
The mouse board, the mousetrap board.
Oh yeah,
that was a good one.
So many creative things. The Legos. I don't know how you guys come up with this stuff, but it's entertaining to watch, and I'm glad that I'm not participating in these matches. But again, I give you props for doing so because it's been at our amusement, nonetheless. So of course that was the first Bound by Violence 2. That was the one where we did at the I think it was Mason's Theater in Rio Rancho.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite Destiny Wrestling shows just because the environment, and it just felt grungy and dirty, and it felt like it was illegal, that nobody should be in there.
Yeah, that venue alone that's where death matching should take place.
Totally.
All the time.
Yeah.
It was very intimate, dark, grungy, like you said. That tournament was crazy.
Dude, that crowd was ridiculous. And the crowd helped make it a huge show.
That was a sellout crowd. We packed in 125 people into that little theater.
Yeah, standing room only.
Standing room only, and that crowd popped for every. I mean, when I was getting hit with a bottle cap bat.
Because which one was what match were you in? It was bottle caps.
Bottle caps, Legos.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And the mousetrap.
Oh,
board.
Okay. Who were you in that with?
Joe Quesada and Rex Reed.
Yeah, those are two heavy hitters. For
yeah,
sure.
And when I'm in the middle getting sandwiched between them both swinging their bottle cap bats and hitting me in the chest and the back. Oh, God. No cuts, just a lot of bruising. A lot of bruising from those bottle caps. Those are terrible.
Was that the worst beating you got as far as in your career as being a wrestler? Is that the worst beating that you've had?
Probably not.
Really?
But
it sounds brutal.
It was brutal.
How long did it take you to recover from that?
A few weeks.
Really?
Yeah. Ladder matches are probably the worst. Like getting thrown into ladders is the worst feeling you can. Yeah, it's just terrible.
And you have the record in Destiny as far as being in the most ladder matches in the company. And I don't know why we decided to keep putting you in ladder matches because you're always getting hurt. I think the very first ladder match, which again you guys need to look up on YouTube, is it was a 6-way ladder match, and Johnny K was one of the participants. It was for all 3 of the titles at the time. And why don't you explain exactly what happened?
Well, there was a ladder that was kind of set up in the corner, and myself and Dexter were on top of this ladder. Dexter gave me an exploder, and 8 stitches later on the top of my head. Yeah, that one was good.
Yeah, I remember the camera, and you'll see this on YouTube if you look up the video. You look towards the camera, and you don't really see anything, and all of a sudden you just see blood dripping on your face. It was, again, one of the moments I'm gonna remember. And I remember it didn't ruin the ending that was planned. Well, it changed it up, I should say. It didn't get ruined, but because if I remember correctly, I believe that because the way we had it is there were 6 guys in the match. Somebody would get pinned. Once that was done, that would leave 5 guys. Then they can go and grab a belt, any of the 3 belts hanging. So it would continue until there was 2 guys left, and you were supposed to be one of the last 2 guys, I believe,
Yeah.
with Dexter.
Yeah.
But at that point, there was still, I think, 4 of you guys in the ring. So somebody needed to go grab a belt. And with your bleeding, you had to go up and grab a belt because you obviously were going to win the match and or win one of the belts. So you grabbed a belt, but the ending was supposed to be the Josh and Dexter having all the belts.
Yeah, because they had the golden contracts at the time.
Which was our version of Money in the Bank, and they could use the contract for whatever match for whatever reason they wanted. So the original ending, of course, you were supposed to win, and then Josh, who had his golden contract, was supposed to...
Yeah, Josh had already grabbed a belt and was already out of the match and in the back. I go up, I grab the next belt, I go in the back. He's pissed. He's like, you fucked up. What the fuck are you doing? I'm like, don't worry about it. After Dexter grabs the belt, you just drag me out there with the contract and you powerbomb me over the top rope through a table. 1, 2, 3, game over. You win. This ending will be way better than what we had planned anyways.
Yeah. And sure enough, I think it was. I think it was a very cool ending because I didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, because I'm bleeding, buckets of blood running down my face. Josh is dragging me out of the back. The crowd is like, what the fuck is he doing? And I mean, it just made Josh that much more of a dick heel.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
And put me over more of the baby face that I already was anyways.
Right, exactly. And
Dexter is always telling me this. When I was running face, I always had the Mikey Whipwreck syndrome.
Okay.
Which is just get your ass beat. The crowd will always... feel bad for you, and you'll get over as a babyface.
Okay, and it did work, I think, because I remember, of course, another signature moment. Dude, you have all the moments I remember from Destiny Wrestling are be full of Johnny K. You getting power bombed onto the floor and going through a table. I think was that what happened? Or you were were you on a ladder?
Yeah, I was on the ladder. It was another ladder match, of course. I was on the ladder. Josh was on the apron. He grabbed me off of the ladder and powerbombed me. There was a table on the outside of the ring. Well, when he grabbed me to powerbomb me, my foot got caught in one of the rungs of the ladder. So I missed the table, hit just nothing but the concrete floor. Yeah, fans are always asking me like, "Oh, how's your head after that? It bounced off the concrete."
Right.
I'm like,
And I think the funniest thing is there's like a picture of you. I think it's right before you go through. I think your head might be hitting the bat or the
Yeah, it grazed. My head grazed the table.
And there's Kyle Neese in the crowd. His face is just like total shock. Kyle Neese, huge ladder match fan, but yeah, dude, that was also a very funny moment. Not funny at the time, but now that we can look back at it, very hilarious. And you've been in multiple ladder matches since, but those I think too are probably the most memorable for sure.
Yeah, I've learned since then. Save your bumps for the ladder matches.
Well, let's talk a bit. Obviously, when Josh was here, we talked about the formation of the DeathRage Cartel. And you guys have beaten the crap out of each other for the last so many years. Decided to finally just come together, form this trio, and travel across the Southwest. How has that been? How's that experience been for you, forming the cartel and being able to do what you guys have been doing?
Well, it's fantastic. Traveling with my 2 best friends and Josh and Dexter.
Right.
I know that they have my back at all the time. And we do some crazy stuff. We're always going into abandoned houses. So, you never know. There might be somebody in there. We do that on the road. I mean, when we're actually at a show, the 3 of us together, we're the best trio in wrestling.
Right. I think people need to realize, like, before the Shield, before the Wyatt family, you guys were
doing... They stole our gimmick. Bray Wyatt's little bird, that's the DRC bird. The DRC bird. Bray Wyatt, that's our bird. Thanks for that, Tenzai, for stealing that.
You told him. So one thing I got to ask you about, which... I'm going to I know I didn't tell you about this before we started filming, but I got to ask you about Baby. Like, really, what's the deal with this? I see you walking around with Baby.
Well, of course she's here with me.
Well, yeah, I know she's here.
She doesn't go anywhere. Where I go, she goes.
Can we get a quote from her?
No. Baby doesn't talk.
Okay.
We don't talk about Baby. She's basically behind all the she's the brains of all the craziness that comes out of Johnny K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when, the three of us have our victims or little sheep, because we like to thin the herd out a little bit.
Okay.
She tells me what to do, and sometimes it gets a little out of hand and we kill people. Again, if you want to see any videos, any creepy horror movie videos, check out the DeathRage Cartel's YouTube page.
Crazy videos.
Crazy. It'll make your skin crawl a little bit.
Yeah, like I told Josh, those videos that you guys do, I would put up against pretty much almost anything in WWE. They're so crazy. And
again, WWE stolen our gimmicks.
There you go. You guys be the judge for yourself. They're very, very. I mean, again, before any of these trio groups in WWE have been big, the Cartel's been doing it for a little bit. And again, check out the videos. They're great. I'll be posting them up on the Ring Awareness, or the link to the Ring Awareness page. But so the Cartel, you've mentioned some crazy stuff that you guys have done, road stories. You guys have been up and down, going to Texas, going to Utah, going to Arizona, Colorado. Craziest story that you could share right now. Funniest story, whatever you'd like to do.
All right. Well, so we were on our way to Amarillo for a show, and we there's this abandoned little gas station area just outside of Santa Rosa, between Santa Rosa and Tucumcari.
Okay.
So we pull over because we like to go in abandoned buildings. That's where we like to get a lot of our footage. So we go in, and there's like 4 or 5 abandoned buildings. So we're checking them out. We're in the gas station. Then there's this other little house. So we go in this house, and as soon as we walk in the door, on the wall is spray painted "sex room."
Oh, I think we heard it. We heard the story.
Did we hear this? Did Josh tell this story?
Yeah.
Well, that room was creepy as hell. You just felt dirty just going in there. You didn't want to touch the walls. It was just gross.
Yeah. I remember, he told us that story. It sounds very, very disgusting. Have you guys been into any other odd abandoned buildings?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell us a story about, what's the building in? Is it Amarillo? The
Nat?
Yeah, the Nat.
The Nat.
Tell us a crazy story from there.
Where we used to wrestle in the Nat. It's called the Nat Ballroom. It's a floor that was on top of a swimming pool.
Okay.
So the rumor has it is that there was some girl that was raped and killed in that building.
Okay.
And there was a painting on one of the walls, in some room, leading down to the pool area, that they would always paint over, but it would always seep back through.
The painting would?
The painting would always seep back through.
What was the painting of?
Dang, I don't remember. It was like a girl of something.
Really?
I don't remember. So that was creepy. That whole building was just creepy. After a show, there's an upstairs attic that we'd go up. We were just hanging out up there one time, just drinking after the show, because that's where we would hang out and drink. And me and Josh were talking, and out of the corner of our eyes, one of the doors shut, and there's nobody there.
Really?
Another time, same spot, we were upstairs hanging out, drinking after a show, and you hear footsteps running on the roof.
Okay.
Like little kid footsteps.
That's creepy. Where was Dexter in all this?
Oh, he was right there with us.
Oh, okay. I know if he was too scared or...
Oh, no. I mean, when he's with us, he's fine. But
yeah.
He doesn't really like to go on ghost hunts.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of crazy stories from the Nat. But I remember hearing the one about the picture kept coming through no matter how many times they paint over it.
I mean, every road trip that we go on, there's always some little story that happens.
Yeah. And one of the big things I want to talk about that's coming up for you guys is the CAC Cauliflower Alley Club Reunion coming up here in June. Talked about it a little bit before. What could you explain? I don't think we got an explanation last time. What exactly the CAC is?
Well, the CAC, it's a organization that they try to raise money to help former wrestlers out with medical bills or whatever if they're stuck on hard times.
Okay.
It was formed way like 40. Actually, this will be the 49th year of their reunion, so it was formed 49 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It's wrestlers and actors in this club. So the reunion consists. It's basically 3 days. It all ends with a big banquet honoring, some people that are getting awards.
Okay.
Or being inducted to their, I guess, Hall of Fame. It's not really a Hall of Fame though.
Okay.
They're just getting awards.
Okay. And they have multiple awards. They have don't they have
Rookie
of the Year?
They have Active Wrestler of the Year, men's and women's. They're starting a new one this year, Trainer of the Year, or they also have the Iron Mike Award.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many. I don't remember them off the top of my head. But it's interesting because not only do wrestlers go to this, you can have fans go to this too. You can, as a fan, you can pay your $125.
Okay.
And go. That only covers your dinner and your membership fee, which gives you a newsletter, I think, quarterly or monthly.
Okay.
Like that. So you can still go as a fan. It's not like
exclusive just for
wrestlers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, which is interesting, because you have a lot of fan interaction.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of people that go are wrestlers, though.
Okay.
There are some. It's cool to see though, because there's a lot of old school wrestlers there that will attend. Last year it was in April, and it was right after WrestleMania, so there weren't really that many WWE guys there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why they moved it to June, for those WWE guys to make it
nice
easier for them. Last year I saw Mick Foley was there, because they also run a show, like a wrestling show, one of the nights
of the 3 days.
Okay. And he was there. He was able just to come to the show. He wasn't there for the whole 3 days.
Oh, okay.
So he made an appearance on the show and honored somebody. Dang, I don't remember who.
Chair shots.
Yeah. It's been a long year. Mick Foley was there in the back. So that's a living legend right there.
Yeah, no doubt.
Opinion. So, the kid in me was like, "Oh my gosh, there's Mick Foley," but the professional in me was like,
"How you doing, sir?
How's it going, Mick? My name's John."
Right.
Yeah, because you don't want to mark out all crazy, because that's just. Yeah. Steamboat. I saw Steamboat in the bathroom, which is, I wanted to say hi, but again, I was like, this is the bathroom. It's a little weird, a little awkward. RVD was there. Jake the Snake last year got honored. Funny story, exact same speech he gave for his Hall of Fame speech.
Oh, was it really?
It's almost exact same.
Just memorized it.
Yeah. DDP was there because DDP introduced him again.
Wait a minute.
Almost the exact deja vu.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good time. Most of the time it's hanging out with old school guys, listening to stories of the old territory days.
Right.
And getting drunk.
There you go. No. And you're in Vegas to top it all off.
Yeah, and you're in Vegas. You're not getting drunk all the time, but that's what you do. You hang out, you listen to stories. You go to the banquet. They have a bowling tournament. They have a cribbage tournament.
Oh, geez. It's a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah. They also have, for wrestlers, they have seminars. They invite people to give a seminar, talk, or whatever.
So definitely a good learning experience.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Good awesome. Learning, and as a wrestler, for learning and for networking to try to get booked in more places.
There you go. And I'll lead us into my next question, which what do you guys got coming up? Of course, DeathRage Cartel. What dates can we look forward to seeing you guys? What shows you guys could be on?
We'll be in Amarillo May 23rd for Nightmare Pro.
Oh, cool.
And then we will also be, obviously, Cauliflower Alley in June.
Okay.
We'll be there from the 1st through the 5th. And we'll be in Utah, Salt Lake City for UCW on June 14th.
Oh, nice. So a few dates coming up for the cartel. You guys can catch them. Of course, if they want to know more about the cartel, if they want to see some of your experiences from going to these events, where can they find it?
You can always email us at thedeathragecartel@gmail.com. You can check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/thedeathragecartel. You can also obviously hit me up on Facebook, Johnny K. And then our YouTube page is youtube.com/Mr. Team Hardway.
Right, and you guys got to check out the videos. I've told you guys multiple times. You guys haven't, get on it. These videos are epic. And you guys have actually just started doing a new video segment every week, right?
Yeah, we do a move of the week every Monday. It's either going to be one of our triple team moves, a tag team move, or a singles move.
Of one of the three of you.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
Make sure to check that out.
Exactly. Support the local talent here in New Mexico. Of course, I got one last question for wrestling. It comes from Abron. Fan question. He wants to know if you could choose anybody from New Mexico that's not already in the cartel, who would you choose?
Nobody.
Oh!
Nobody is crazy enough to do the things that we do.
There you go.
We're a little messed up in the head. Just a little bit.
Check out the videos, you understand.
Yeah, so really there's nobody. Unless you can prove that, that you're messed up in the head, you might
Consider
it. Maybe. Probably not. There's only 3 of us. It's a trio, not a quartet. Just a trio. There's only going to be 3 of us.
There you go. Well, let's jump into some WWE news. Of course, like I mentioned at the top of the show, WrestleMania 30 was huge. I know you watched it, Johnny K. The biggest news coming out of it is probably The Undertaker's 21-0 streak coming to an end. What are your comments as far as this ending? Was it expected? What was your initial reaction?
Well, of course, watching it with, everybody, we're all like, what the hell was that? Everybody was shocked. But at the end of the day, you got to realize, that was the plan. If he was going to lose, he picked who he's going to lose to.
Right. Do you think it was a good choice as far as it being Lesnar being that guy who ended the streak?
I mean, if that's who Undertaker wanted to lose to, I'm not going to tell Undertaker that was a dumb idea.
Right.
That guy has had an amazing career, so...
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. A lot of people are saying that, I don't think that was planned. I think that Taker was supposed to kick out. I think that it was WWE's decision for him to drop the streak. You got to understand, Undertaker's a legend.
Yeah. No. Undertaker probably went to Vince. This is just my opinion. I don't know him.
Right.
He probably went to Vince and said, I want to lose.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to lose the streak. I'm going to lose the Lesnar.
There you go.
Game over. There was probably 3 people, maybe 5 people tops in the entire company that knew what was going to happen.
Right, yeah, and that's a rumor. There was only, like you said, a few people who knew that it was going to happen. It was a surprise to everybody. And I thought it was great. At the beginning, I kind of questioned it. But when you think about it, really, do you see Undertaker wrestling much more often?
No.
No. He's coming to an end of his career. And I think when it's all said and done in the wrestling universe, I think Undertaker is going to be... the Zeus of wrestling, in my opinion. He's just so good, and there's no question that it was his decision to end the streak. And there's always that thing whenever you're going out, obviously you go out on a loss, right, in wrestling?
Yeah, that's a lot of thought. That's the thought, a lot of people have in the business. You come in on your back, you leave on your back.
There you go.
So, in my opinion, I don't foresee the Undertaker coming back.
You think he's done?
I think he's done.
Yeah, and I think it's rightfully so. He's gotten...
There's honestly no reason for him to come back.
I agree. There's no... it'd be cool for sure, but at the same time, it'd be cool the way it's done now. Yeah. That's it. No more Undertaker. Have him get his Hall of Fame ring. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way he'd want to go out, truthfully. Of course, the other big thing from WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan finally overcoming the odds and winning the WWE title, which was great. What did you think about his match against Triple H and eventually going into that triple threat?
His match against Triple H was that was a very good, solid match
For an opener.
For an opener, I mean that's the way you start off WrestleMania 30.
For sure.
By leaps and bounds, that match was one of the best on the card, in my opinion.
I agree.
The triple threat, I mean that powerbomb RKO combination was horrible. I mean, it looked horrible. I mean, Randy Orton probably took the worst of that.
Oh, with the monitor?
Landing on that TV monitor, scoring in the middle of his back.
Yeah.
Batista is horrible.
Period.
Just period. He doesn't know. Like, I don't know. He's lost his timing and like way to cover. Like, just draw some time out. I mean, for me as a wrestler, like I notice little things when they're in their match.
Right, normal things that I probably don't catch.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to go into like spoiling it for people. I mean, everybody knows it's work.
Right.
I mean, but I don't want to be like, hey, this is where they fucked up.
But overall, as far as Daniel Bryan overcoming the odds,
Daniel Bryan winning is fantastic for, the indie guys.
Right.
I mean, other than CM Punk, he's really the only other big indie guy that's won it.
Yeah, no, I agree for sure. And I think that as far as WrestleMania as a whole, what would you give it as scale 1 to 10?
I'd probably give it an 8.
An 8? I would agree. I think that's a solid score. I think
it was way better than last year.
Dude, I think it was way better than, I can't even remember a Mania where the entire show was pretty solid. I really can't think of a weak point in that entire show.
Yeah, that show was pretty solid.
Yeah. Because previous years, pretty much the only highlight has been the Undertaker match for the most part.
Yeah.
But this one, again, pretty solid the entire way around. And I think the big surprise was actually Cesaro winning that Battle Royal, who wasn't even announced to be in it.
Yeah, Cesaro is... he's the man.
Dude, he's on his way to the top for sure.
That dude is the strongest dude in WWE right now. Probably.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. If you guys get a chance, check out his indie work as well.
Or he was known as
Claudio Castagnoli.
There you go.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, no, he's always been really good. Again, I didn't really know too much about him, but thanks to Dexter, been able to look him up and definitely amazed by all the stuff he can do. Definitely well deserved his accomplishments. I'm glad it seemed like they were going to go with like a babyface run for him, which I think it'd be all right, but really I'm more interested in him being a heel and him just being the dude that hopefully everybody can learn to hate, even though they can respect his talents in the ring. So it's definitely a new change of course for WWE. Even the next night on Raw was epic. When Daniel Bryan came out with the belt, he got a "You deserve it" or "You deserve this" chant, which was crazy. Because obviously the Raw after WrestleMania is always huge. Did you watch the Raw after WrestleMania?
No, I didn't. I'm probably the worst wrestling fan / wrestler in the world. As in, I don't really watch wrestling at all that often. I'll watch the big pay-per-views, like I'll watch the Royal Rumble and I'll watch WrestleMania. That's pretty much it.
Aside from that, that's it.
I'll keep up with it, like reading, but I don't usually watch
too much of it.
Too much. I especially don't watch any TNA. I have no interest in that at all.
Breaking news: TNA sucks. Yeah, it was just great, man. It seems like WWE's on a different path now because again, that first Raw after WrestleMania, Daniel Bryan's champion, Cesaro won the belt, and now he's a Heyman guy. You got Paige coming up winning the Divas title. You got Alexander Rusev coming in, and you've got a bunch of NXT guys coming in soon. Adam Rose and
it's nice to see that they're working in the younger guys.
Right. I think they kind of figure it's kind of that time to maybe start.
Yeah, you can't have Cena headline every WrestleMania.
No doubt, man. Even Bray Wyatt's kind of been more prominently used, which is great. And I think it's a great path WWE's going on. Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of the younger guys. Hopefully we'll see a long run from Daniel Bryan as world champion.
Yeah, and whenever he does drop the belt, hopefully it's not 3 seconds to Sheamus.
God, no. Well, Johnny K, definitely glad to get you on the show, man. You guys know how to reach him, how to reach the cartel. Everything will be below this video in the description where you can contact him and check out all their videos. Any last words you'd like to leave New Mexico wrestling fans?
Just support local wrestling.
Yeah.
If you guys are on vacation in Phoenix or in Texas somewhere, or even Colorado, Utah, anywhere, let us know, and we could probably find a show that you guys can go check out.
Definitely.
Always support independent wrestling.
Exactly. And more importantly, I want to hear your two most famous words.
What? Oh. Das Boot!
This is Adam Merrick signing off for Ring Awareness. You guys have a good one.